evening. Hi there. Bear here. It is currently 8:45 p.m. on the day of August 18th. And I am cooking, so, I guess you can watch me cook. I'm only chopping potatoes right now and I've prepared a bunch of other stuff already. But I wanted to talk about the experience I've been having with dating, and I think this episode is going to be called Barely Present, or I want to call it Barely Kind. I don't know if the other episode got uploaded to YouTube or Instagram, but like I say always, this is never about trying to fix something for you, but I hope that the advice that I, pass in my experience of discomfort might be able to benefit or help you in some way, shape, or form. So with that being said, the thing I'm going to convey today is I feel like everyone is living from this place of kind of a traumatic response. And I get it. I have a lot of CPTSD. I lead with a lot of, hey, these are things that I would really like to experience in my dynamic with you, and these are things I would not like to experience in my dynamic with you. But whatever happens, I'm willing to engage in this dynamic fully and vulnerably with whatever I have currently that's available to my skill set, I don't feel like a lot of people date in the same way that I do, where they're being 100% vulnerable with themselves. I feel like they're walking around holding shields and swords, and they're acting pensively with what their engagement be. This might not even be like a long episode. I could call it complaining. I could even call it complaining. Most of these podcasts could be called complaining. What I say that to say is that I think a lot of people walk around frequently with this desire to be held after the fact of someone else hurting them. And so they're walking around with these swords and these shields, and they're like, hey, I need you to be that's what I'm saying, is I tend to myself more frequently than not in these dynamics, and people are walking around saying, I need you to be a very specific thing for me, and if you're not a very specific thing for me, then this doesn't work. And I'm more aligned in the lines of, if you can't treat me the way you want me to understand you, then I don't want to engage with you. And I don't think that takes months. I don't think I need to wait for someone to tell me that they're going to be soft to me eventually. I don't think I need to wait for someone to tell me that eventually they will be able to speak to me with kindness. I don't think I need to wait for someone to tell me that eventually they'll be able to communicate effectively enough to let me know when they're going to be busy. I don't think I need to wait for those very minute, nuanced part of communication. I feel like when someone wants to do that, it happens regardless of how long we've known each other, regardless of how long we've engaged with each other, regardless of how long we might have participated with each other. I'm cooking over here. And so what is a consistency with me is I tend to lead from a place of, here's my whole heart at the same time. This is my intention with dating. This is how I communicate effectively. These are the things that I would like to communicate effectively to you in this moment so that we can have a clear understanding of what I want to be doing, how I want to be doing it, and in which ways it might happen through me. But I still need consent from you to engage in that manner if it isn't something that you can participate with. Now, I've come into some fairly good friendships. I do have some fairly solid friends. I'll throw quotes around friends because it's amicable. With how you define a friend based on the nuance. I'm not sexually engaged with anyone, so it's not something that I need to be concerned with right now. But I still do convey healthy experiences with exchanging information in case someone did want to have sex with me. With that being said, it's like I'm trying to convey that intimacy is something, or at least trust, is something that is established from the very beginning. If I come to a castle that believes it is under siege, then I have to prepare to siege the castle, which means I have to tear down the wall. I have to tear down the drawbridge. I have to tear down them things to invade this space without there being any kind of like softness about that. Another way that I could clarify this is if you are testing people to see if they fit a narrative in your brain that says that they are safe, then you already don't feel that this person is safe. Because when you're with someone that feels safe to you, at least in my understanding, again, this is all from my perspective, when you're with someone who feels safe to you, you engage with this person like they're safe. I've been going around telling people fairly recently that I live with my heart on my sleeve. I don't need you to do something for me, but how you behave to me tells me how much of my heart you get to hold on to. So if you start behaving oddly to me, and I point out that you're behaving oddly to me, and then it makes you defensive because you're pointing out something that's odd, if you shut down when called out about a particular behavior and do not want to communicate any further, that's odd. If when trying to learn someone, you say that you're not ready to share that information, that's an odd behavior, because why are you dating? Why are you engaged with the dating world if you need to be pensive and passive and indirect with your engagement with someone, and you don't feel safe enough to engage? My eyes keep trailing off because I'm cooking. And so, like, I'm really confused if I want to call this, like, barely present, if I want to call this, what's this? Okay, battery saver. If I want to be calling this barely present, if I want to call this barely kind, because I feel like it's a kind and compassionate expression to engage with someone wholeheartedly. You know, I say it all the time. I'm going to call this barely wholehearted. I'm going to call this barely wholehearted. So I engage frequently with the understanding that I am participating with everyone with my whole chest. You know, whatever I do, with whomever I'm talking to. If you know me and you've had a conversation with me previously to this point in engagement, you know that I talk a lot. That's just one of the things I apologize for, because a lot of people say that I talk a lot. I don't apologize for talking a lot. I apologize that you might perceive that I talk a lot, and I give people clear indication that if you think I'm talking a lot, just let me know, and I'll stop talking. But I like the sound of my voice. I like the way that I sound. I enjoy the sounds that come out of my body. A lot of people may not have that same kind of agreement with me, and if they don't, I need them to say that. That doesn't mean that I need to change in a... That doesn't mean that I have to be upset with them. I communicated up front that if they need something different from me, I'm willing to participate with that change because I'm okay with it. Again, I'm currently in my house talking to myself. Most of my TikToks, all of the experiences that I've had with making these podcasts and the Instagram posts are me talking to myself. Arguable. I was talking to Aaron once because Aaron invited me to have a conversation with him. Aaron Robinson of Open Presence. Opoir, if you want. But I call them Halo because it's a nickname that I gave them for my own understanding. I'm hot and I'm talking about things that like make my heart excited. And not necessarily in a negative manner, but I'm very excited about being able to participate in a way that says I want to be authentic. I want to be authentic all the time, so I do my best to lead with what I feel like is an authentic expression. And that may not be the same for everybody else. But what I'm curious about, what leads me into curiosity about this particular understanding is what is it that people are looking for when they're dating in the space of I can't be my authentic and true self. I can't be who I want to be in this moment because I need you to accept me as I am. And later things will change. It's not that I don't have an understanding that people have the propensity to change. It's what we're currently doing in this moment. And so I recently was engaged. I was recently not engaged, but I was recently talking to someone engaged in that manner, as in like I was participating with them and they have an understanding, where I told them that this could be like a forever engagement. You know, I really enjoyed the way they were communicating with me. I really enjoyed how they were participating with me. I really enjoyed what we were doing as far as communication levels were concerned. Yes? This isn't about that particularly, but this is aligned with what I'm talking about. They explained to me that there were some things that were confusing about them, that were not. They explained to me that I was not everything that they needed to be comfortable in a dynamic, which I appreciate because clarity of understanding and engagement. Yes, but when I agreed to respect their wishes that we were not in alignment and I was not everything that they needed. They then conveyed to me after the fact that if I had tried to prove that I was the thing that they said that I wasn't enough of, that they would reconsider. Like, they don't know if I'm that now. So they can't have me as the experience that I am in this moment. And I was like, well, this is where I am now. So I don't understand why you would say that you want to engage with me now if this experience that you're having with me now isn't the one that you want to be having. It was like, yeah, I don't know where you're going to be in a year. And I'm like, so basically you're saying that you are waiting for something to change so that then you can then engage. I'm investing in now, okay? Take this as a farmer, or as from a farmer's perspective. The soil needs tending to, okay? You do tests on the soil to find out what the soil needs, which is basically, in soil communication, I'm asking the soil questions about its preferences. Okay? Because the soil needs something in particular. Because this soil has been used before. Many things have grown out of the soil. Many things have taken nutrients from the soil. Many things have been in this space and have been provided nutrients by the soil. What is the soil missing? Okay, so I've got to communicate with the soil. Nature has figured out how to do this effectively. Mushrooms do a really great job. Myceliums do a really great job at communicating with everything that they're participating with. So that if you want to have a better understanding, I like to be mycelium. I like to make sure that everybody in my ecosystem has everything that they need. I like to know where their placements are. I like to know if someone's a fussy. I like to, fussy, F-U-S-S-Y, like being fussy, being angry, spicy. You've heard people be called spicy. I like to know where people are in those modalities. I like to know where there's a sad. I like to know where there's a strong. I like to know where there's a meek. I like to know those things so that I can engage with them authentically. Because if I'm going to the meek person asking for strong stuff, if I'm going to the meek person who would be in my identifier of if I'm going to the meek person and I'm looking for strength, I'm not going to get that out of the meek person. Maybe the meek person is more observant because they've had so many experiences that have made them not be strong, but has made them hyper-vigilant. Maybe I need someone who's hyper-observant in my environment that I'm building. Maybe I need someone who's going to be able to tell me something about something that I can't see. They're going to be able to see other things and other people that I'm not currently aware of, okay? So if we're talking about dating from that perspective, and we're talking about people being soil, in a year from now, the soil will still have to struggle under the weight of weeds, which is, let's call weeds an everyday engagement. Okay? Life, stuff happens, work, family matters, things you don't have control of. Things will happen. Weeds. Weeds will happen. But I want to plant stuff in this soil. I want to plant sunflowers. I want to plant tomatoes. I want to plant watermelon. I want to plant wheat. What does this soil need? And so in my engagements, when I'm communicating with another person, I want to know what it is that they need. People go, oh, no, you're not paying attention to yourself. You really give off big caregiver vibes. You really communicate in a way that says that you're trying to be something for someone else. No. I'm going to grow stuff if you're near me. If it's just weeds, because all you can handle is weeds, I need some dandelion. Dandelion's really great. It don't grow down there anywhere, okay? It grows on sidewalk. But I'll make sure that what I'm getting from you is what you can handle. And if the soil can't produce what I'm requesting, I will simply stop engaging with that soil in that manner. You didn't know that you could do that, right? You didn't know that you could just let the soil be, let it rest, do what it do, but I won't have to participate in it. I will not farm in this soil if it needs remediation. If it needs to rest, if it needs therapy, if it needs to do a self-help book tour or 3, if it needs some introspection, this soil, if it needs those things, I won't participate with it while it's doing that because it needs that space to do that thing. I feel like sometimes soil wants me to wait to eat. We're talking about, I'm doing a parable. This is the person. They want me to wait to grow things. They want me to wait to plant my seeds. But still be here and still have me tending to it. Even though there's nothing in there that I want. Even though there's nothing in there that it can provide to me nutritiously. It would like me to still be adding all of my nutrition to it. Even though what it needs is rest and introspection and engagement with self. So I'm trying to figure out in my day-to-day, everyday being, why is it that people keep making these really odd requests of telling other people that they need to be something for them in order for them to engage in a healthy manner? I don't understand why someone would choose to participate in dating, in community building, in space with others if they haven't yet themselves asked why they want to be there. If you need support, if you need community, if you need those things, then you're there for a reason, and you should understand at least one of the two reasons why you're there. I'm pretty sure there's more than two reasons. I'm being very like I would say prolific with the randomness of how I'm engaging with this conversation, because it's all arbitrary. But my understanding is, because it isn't just this one person that I dated. I had friends be extremely odd, and then we no longer be friends because I don't know what to do with that, ma'am and or sir. I don't know what to do with that person. What was that? Why are you doing that thing in particular? I have no idea why you just did that. That was weird. You don't think that was weird? No, that's normal to you? It's normal for you to make confusing statements and then expect people to understand? It's normal for you to expect people to just wait for you to get back to them when what you want is for them to be present with you, but you can leave their presence and then want them to still be that's confusing. That's a confusing sentiment. So, I started this with, like, I want this to be called barely present, or what was it? It was barely present, barely authentic, because it's an odd thing to me to experience consistently. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's an odd thing for me to experience consistently that someone would want something that they don't know yet. You know, I feel like that's not the best time to be out in the world trying to peruse for any type of engagement, is when you don't know what it is that you want. It feels kind of haphazardous to expect someone to be able to provide a safety of space if you yourself don't know what it is that you want. In those regards. And a lot of the time, in my experience, again, this is me talking from my perspective, I talk out loud. Some people dislike me for talking out loud. Some people dislike me for being myself. Some people dislike me because I say things that I want to say, and it's not something that they would say themselves. Some people dislike me for communicating in a way that they can't communicate. Some people dislike the sound of my voice, unlike me, which I love the sound of my voice. Need a little extra sauce, but I didn't want to crack open tomato paste. Some people simply just don't enjoy themselves as much as I enjoy myself. And I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, other person whom is not me at this particular moment. If that is the way you feel about me in this engagement with me. What I want for us, what I would love for us, is for us to have a shared experience that says that we love ourselves enough to be able to communicate with other people about the things it is that we're looking for. Pardon me. A little bit of that. So everything burns up. And so I'm having a struggle. And again, I don't want to come from a place of complaining. I want to come from a place of understanding. I'm trying to understand. I'm doing my best to understand humans, dude. I'm doing everything in my power to talk to people and ask them to be authentic back. I just want to understand. I don't even want to like make them do anything different. I just want to understand why they're doing the weird shit they're doing. And if they don't want to explain that, I'm really cool with being like, all right, deuces. I'm really cool with stepping off. I'm really cool with not trying to make anything that I'm confused about your problem, because I don't think that's fair. I don't think that that's fair that I would try to hustle you into a discomfort when you yourself haven't expressed that that's something that you want to engage with me. Oop, that's too much. Oh, that's going to be sweet sauce. It wasn't already sweet with the barbecue sauce. Like, hell sweet now. I could cut it with salt, but I don't want to because there's already salt in all the food already, or at least some of it. So yeah, I'm not. I want more. And what I want more of is just people having an understanding of themselves, a deeper understanding of themselves, so that it doesn't feel like when people ask you, like, what is it that you're looking for? When you go to a job interview and they ask you how much you want to get paid, you're not confused. You know what they want from you is more work, less pay, but you also want a particular type of pay. When you're in a relationship, it's not like a job. I mean, it is work. It requires effort. It requires you to put and invest in time and effort and thought behind the actions that you're engaged with. But it's basically like having a friend. Every relationship is like having a friend. Every relationship is a mirror to how you love yourself. Fuck that. Fuck the friend thing. Every relationship that you have is a mirror to how you love yourself. How you love the person that I'm like. If I'm pointing at the thing that's not me, because it's all me to me. In my head, we're all the same shit. This is a mirror. So I'm loving you the way I want to be loved. And if you're giving me half-ass because your feelings have been hurt by somebody before, Broomhilda, or whoever the fuck might have hurt your feelings and caused you harm, then you're not loving yourself the way you want to be loved. Because if you're loving yourself from inside a shell, from in a defensive position, then who wants to love that? Who wants to engage with that distance? Who wants to engage with that pensiveness? Who wants to engage with the frustration of even trying to pursue you? What makes you feel like that's a safe engagement? I'm not telling you can't have hard feelings. I'm not saying you can't be hurt from your last dynamic. I'm not saying that you can't express it. I'm not saying that you can't do any of those things. What I'm saying is, who wants to do that? When's the last time you looked at a dumpster and was like, I would love to eat out of that? No, I'm not calling you trash. I'm just saying that it's trash to try to pursue someone who isn't ready to be pursued yet. You know? And if you're out here dating because you're lonely, say you're lonely. Say that. Say you're lonely. I used to do sex work. Say you're lonely. There are tons of people who will just come hug you. Tons. Probably ain't the person you're most attracted to, but tell people that you're lonely so that you can start building community based off the fact that you're lonely and you want other people near you. Not dating. If you want community based around like family ties or like loving engagements where intimacy isn't involved with just sexual activities, because our culture is fucking stupid with that stuff. I swear to God, like everybody in their 30s that I know only thinks when you tell them that you love them is you're trying to get into their pants or you want something from them. I'm sorry, guys, you're broken. My bad. I don't know what happened, but like, I'm so sorry. Not all of you, because, you know, I talked to a couple people who are in their 30s who are also my friends, who also understand that when I say I love you, I'm not trying to have sex, but most of you guys, shit, and even 30, like most everybody, like I know a bunch of 50-year-old women who will come up to my page, talk to me about some shit that I had nothing. Bruh, why are you here? If you don't like me, why are you here? What are you doing? If you don't like me in the way that says that you're attracted to me, what are you here for? What are you here for? Ma'am, sir, mister, meester? If you don't like me in that way, why are you talking to me? I'm not telling you to talk to me. I'm not telling you to do any weird shit. I'm saying you pulled up doing some weird shit, and you don't want to talk about the weird shit that you were doing. And I'm asking about it directly, like, are you here to fuck or what? Like, say so, because if you're here to fuck and it's all you want, then give me some money. I don't have to be a full-on prostitute. I can come out of retirement and dig a bitch down, though. You know? If you need that, say that. For some bread? Oh yeah, I fuck shit out you for some bread. But if you just want to fuck because you're lonely, there's something wrong with you. And you need to go get some assistance. You need to go get a therapist. You need to talk to somebody about how you're experiencing those feelings dramatically. Because that's intense. You don't think that's intense? You don't think it's intense to just kick it with people just because you're lonely and you can't say that? You don't think that that's weird? I'm the only one that thinks that that's weird? What does friend mean to you? Be in there? No, it always sounds like when you guys describe friend to me, it always sounds like you guys are like, I need a support person. You treat people like objects, and when you're done with them supporting your feelings, when you're done with them taking care of you, when you're done with them, I'm going to put salt on these anyways, when you're done with them doing the thing that they're doing, you abandon them. You cast them to the wind. They no longer exist in the same way for you. You're good with taking all the steps back, and you don't have to do anything in particular. And you don't think that that's weird? Again, I'm talking in an arbitrary manner. It's not you, the person that I'm pointing at, that's in the camera, that's actually listening to this particular thing, because I'm talking to myself. I'm asking questions. Like, you don't think that that's weird, that that will be your dynamic that you have with a lot of people? You don't think just kind of using people and tossing them back is not weird? Did it feel good the last time somebody did that to you? Did it feel good the last time that somebody made you feel like you were disposable? Did it feel good the last time somebody didn't give you their whole heart? I just want to know. I just want to know if from your perspective, it feels really good when people take advantage of your kindness and then give you basically nothing back in return. Because all I'm asking for is communication to be clear. Tell me what the dynamic is. Tell me what you want. If you want to fuck, just say that. That's how I feel. Ah, it's hot. Shit. Spatula. Ooh. Okay, spatula. Great. Build my little bowl. Jesus. Yeah, no. So I'm just like really in the space of if what everything that we want to be happening at the same time in regard to communication and how we participate with people. I turned this off, friend. And what we want in participating with people, if what we want. Rice. Nope. Put these back first. If what we want isn't clearly conveyed to the person that we want it from, how are we ever going to get it? If what you want isn't happening with the person you're currently with, why do you think eventually they're going to do that? Because your grandma was raped by your grandpa, bro. Like, that's not, like, they were, like, old as fuck. Like, a lot of people don't have really loving and super awesome dynamics when it comes to old people. Like, all this shit was like, fuck. Somebody got pregnant, something. They were taught by the last patriarchal cycle that they were opposed to something. You can't use those relationship dynamics as examples. You can't use Christian-based dynamics as an example because the Christians are all fucking brainwashed. No offense to Christians. I love you guys. I love spirituality from the Christian standpoint. I love Gnosticism. But also, they were brainwashed by the people who were brainwashed, by the people who were brainwashed, by the people who were brainwashed that were in slavery, that were being told that if you wait for Jesus to come save you, somebody gonna come save you. Do you think that same dynamic is going to work in your relationship where if you wait for this person to like change, that's going to be a thing? If it's not happening for you right now, I'm not telling you to just cast your relationships aside. I'm not just being like a nihilist where I'm just like, oh, fuck, everything's terrible. You got to end it now. But I'm asking you, what are you waiting for if the person isn't currently displaying that? Like if your car was a two-seater and you needed a minivan to get your family around, you're not going to wait for the car to grow more doors. You're going to get a minivan. That's what I'm talking about. Like, and I'm not saying like people, again, are utility items. I'm asking you if what you want isn't happening. If the thing you want isn't appearing the way that you perceive it to appear so that you can get the thing that's comfortable for you, what is it that you're attempting to like discern at this point? You know, what's going to change? How is it going to like evolve so that it does become the thing? That's what I'm confused about. I'm confused about that. I'm confused about like what would be the significance of me waiting for somebody who is not currently performing in the way that they said that they could perform. If you bought a used car from a used car lot and you didn't like the performance of it, you take it back to the used car lot. I'm not, again, the parables of people being items is not fully engaged, okay? So don't come at my neck about saying that people are just usable. No, but I'm using examples. If you ordered a meal from a restaurant and it didn't come with the stuff you ordered, you send it back. You want the thing you ordered. Why aren't you performing and participating with life in a way that says that the people around you are exactly what you ordered? Because everyone's not going to be perfect. I didn't say that you couldn't have alterations. I didn't say that you couldn't have compromise. But when you compromise on the main thing, like kindness, compassion, grace, understanding, clear communication, when you compromise on those things, I don't know what else it is that you guys are possibly looking out for. And so that confuses me because I'm participating with you guys saying, I communicate clearly, I'm vulnerable, my whole heart is on the outside, I want to be understood, I want to understand, and I want to engage with you in a way that makes us both feel safe. When that doesn't happen, when I'm not clearly communicated that back, what the fuck am I here for? What am I doing here? And that's community. That's any type of relationship. I know I was talking about dating when I first got into this, but I'm trying to figure out, like, for real, in every community aspect, in work, in, like, the president, you know, like, the guy's a liar. He's been a liar. And, like, people still voted for him. He was a fucking liar. And people are, like, mad that other people were mad that he was a fucking liar. And he's still fucking lying. I'm trying to figure out what it is that we're trying to actually do. Like, authentically. What is it that we all want? What is it that we're trying to do? Why do we participate with the things the way that we do? I can't fix anything. I can't fix any of your minds other than asking questions. I really want to know what it is that you're trying to understand. What it is that you're trying to perceive. If I didn't talk like this, you wouldn't come listen to these videos. You wouldn't come listen to these podcasts. You listen to this. I'm not saying I'm the see-all, be-all, I'm the best podcaster, I'm fucking Joe Rogan or fucking, I don't even know any other people that are doing really good right now. What's the name? Bacon and Grits or some shit like that? I can't remember the guy's name. But I'm not saying, like, I'm the see-all, be-all of understanding in everything. I'm saying that right now, me in particular, if you specifically, person who keeps coming back to listen to my podcast, didn't like these podcasts, then you would do something differently based on how you understand them and how they should be to you. You wouldn't keep coming back to this if I didn't communicate in a way that wasn't enticing to you. But you do keep coming back. You do keep having this engagement with me. You do keep having this participation with me that says that you like what I'm doing. And so I appreciate when you come back. And I keep showing up consistently like I'm doing, because what I'm doing is the thing that keeps bringing you back, which is the thing that you asked for, which is some type of vulnerability, some type of authentication, some authenticity. And that's something that I get to do because I want to, and you get to participate with it because you want to participate with it. But like in actual relationships, in actual dating, in your workplace, at your job, at the thing that you want to be doing, why is it that something, I dropped some on the counter. Why is it that something that when you don't engage with it, when you don't like it and still participate with it, why is that something that you do? Why is that something that you're still participating with? Why do that? Because if they haven't shown that they're going to change, and you haven't seen that they're going to change, and they're still doing the behavior that's harmful to you and those around them, what do you expect? I'm trying to figure out what people expect. You know, maybe call this barely expectations. Bare expectations. Barely doing stuff now with words, bare expectations. You know, I see a couple posts online where it's like, the average cis hetero man's bare minimum is like, the average cis hetero man's effort is like the lesbian's bare minimum. So apparently there's been a set piece that's been engaged, you know? Trans men are prolifically known for like being hypersexuality because they have the testosterone in them now, and their bodies previously didn't have the testosterone, so they basically get to go to puberty whenever they decide to transition from this world to the next world. Trans women have the same kind of expression with hypersexuality, but then sometimes HRT or at least estrogen shots don't necessarily support their bodies in the same way, so sometimes sex can be lost. But having that heightened hormone changes the way that a person is perceived and how they behave with the world. This is a mix that I made before with some vegan mayonnaise. Can't tell you, special sauce. Special sauce. 333 on the clock just a second ago. 3333. And so, you know, anyways, I'm talking out of my ass, and I'm about to fuck this fruit up. But I'm just really confused a lot of the time when participating with people who don't themselves. You know, what are you looking for? What are you waiting for in for other people? Like, I'm alone a lot. I'm alone a lot because I refuse to wait. I refuse to wait for you to do something that you can't do immediately. I'm not asking you to change. That's what I keep trying to communicate. It's like, I'm not asking anybody to change. I'm saying, look for the thing that already exists. Like, you're not going to the forest to look for well-thought, organized paths. You're going to the forest to look for bushes, shrubs, mushrooms, chaos, giant trees, maybe some rolling water next to you, but you're not looking for fucking streets and windows and doors. So why, when you're dating, are you going to a quote-unquote forest looking for some type of organization when that's not what's there? Why not look for organization in a space where organization will be? Why not expect organization in a space where organization will be in that manner? Like, I'm being very specific. Like, if you're waiting for compassion, probably not going to show up in compassion in that space that you're in, because if it hasn't shown itself already, it's probably not going to show up. Why aren't you, like, if you haven't noticed someone's peels your oranges, that was a trend online for a little bit. If they haven't done that already by themselves, and that's what you want, why are you waiting for that from them right now? I did eat this potato off the floor because it's mine. And yes, I did save this sauce. Don't worry about my sink and all the dishes over there, but you can see my little everything is burnt playlist. Hyper grilled, hyper fried, delicious substance that I'm going to eat. You don't know what it tastes like, so you can't tell if it's good or not. You don't know what the seasoning is on them chips. That rice is raw. The potatoes got the flavor. I'm about to fuck this shit up. If it looked bad to you, that's cool. I like it. Going along with the thoughts of this conversation, I'm not looking to serve anyone something that they don't want. Someone's going to show up and want this. Someone's going to want this. Just like this. And it's not going to be something that's bad to them because this is already like this. Because they're going to show up and I'm going to be like, damn, I love this. Whatever this is. Barely this. Barely this. The name has changed 7 times. If you got this far in this fucking podcast, it's like 36 minutes in. They're normally like an hour. I don't think this one needs to be that long. I don't think I need to stress the point anymore. Because this is what you get. Radical acceptance. This is what it is. And that's how I feel like dating should be. Throw some quotes on it. Pardon me. Should. Shit. That's just how it is. You know, we're out here trying to change people. We're out here trying to tell people that they should be things that they aren't. We're trying to convey that we're not happy with people in the way that they are. Why are you looking for people to be something other than what they are? And then upset when people ask you to change. Stop asking for people to change. Stop expecting people to change. Stop expecting people to be different than what they show up as. Like, your husband is going to be compassionate to you. Your wife is going to be compassionate to you. Your partner is going to start out compassionate to you. They're already going to have the want and desire to communicate to you in a way that says that I love you. They will not be confused with it. They won't be like, hey, you got to wait for me to want to love you. Hey, you got to wait for me to want to be kind to you. You got to wait for me to want to be interested in the things that you say. You got to wait for me to be interested in you in outfits. You got to wait for me to be interested in all of the things. You're not going to have to wait. You know, I'm not some kind of love guru. I go through hell. Oh my gosh, I have so much disenfranchised engagements with people. Oh my gosh, yes, and I know what the word disenfranchised means. I have so much of that with people and engaging with them, where it's just like it hurts. It hurts that people come up to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I love your energy, but I also don't like this." You don't like my energy then, because this is a part of my energy. Whatever this may be, I don't have to be specific with what it is that they don't like. Specifically, in my example earlier, it was stability. You know, I'm currently rebuilding my life. So no, I currently don't have stability, but neither do you if you're waiting for me to have stability to engage with me. You don't know what you want. You want my smile. You want my ability to communicate. You want how I make you feel. You don't want me as I am. And I want someone who wants me as I am and will grow with me. I want someone to invest in my soil and know that I am currently willing to grow some things, not all things. Yeah, and I feel like that's easy. I feel like that's simple. I feel like that engagement says that there's trust. And it's not something that you really need to engage with. By the way, I own none of the rights to this music. This is an Alex Rainbird musical playlist. Let me pause this real quick. I forgot that it was even doing a thing. My bad. So all the artists that played through this thing, I do not own any of their music. Maybe it didn't come through clear enough because my mic, I don't know. But all is well. Always, always. Even if we don't enjoy it, even if I don't enjoy it, is how I say that. But I want to say that I love you. I love what you're trying to do with yourself. I love you trying to be a better you. I just want you to understand that this is the best version of you always. Like this right here is the best thing that will ever happen in this way. And nothing else will ever happen in this way, ever. But you need to know that. You need to know that this version of you is the best version of you ever. And no one will ever be able to know this version as in depth as you will. And you are, how do you want someone to love you when you don't think this is your best? This isn't good to you. You know, you're saying, oh, it's fine. You know, I love myself. I do, but like also this isn't your best. Why isn't this your best? Why isn't this the best version of you? This version survived. This version is alive. This version went through all the ordeals that you went through and decided that it was still okay and safe to exist. You could be someone else right now. I could be a murderer. I mean, like literally, like I grew up in fucking slums. Essentially, not like, you know, whatever. It's not like the slums of fucking India or goddamn Africa or nothing like that. But in Philly, it's basically, there's things that you don't understand that I understand and that my life was that is not now. I mean, I'm making a choice to do that. And so I really just want to like offer you some space and some peace to be whatever this is. Yeah, I was doing my best to try not to like, most of my videos are reiterations of what is. You know, be here now type Ram Dass shit. Like, it is what it is. Why are you looking for something else if it is what it is? Because y'all say that shit a lot. Y'all say that shit like it's depressing. It is what it is. It's a really great experience. You get to take witness to what is, and then you get to move on if it doesn't fit you. Detour here. Don't turn left. You turn fucking left. You're expecting something terrible because it just told you that it needed to be a detour. But nah, do what you want to do. Do what you feel. Again, I don't want to tell you how to be. I would like to understand why you choose to be that way. I'm out.